Hello there, I'm Black Bright News, and I just really wanted to update you. Well, not even update you. I had a few queries on the four proposals that SHABANA Mahmood has with regard to reducing migration. Basically, for those applying for indefinite leave to remain, they've got to have a clean criminal license. They've got to have good character. They've got to have sustained national insurance, which means they've got to be in work. And the fourth one was demonstrate English language. So what I'm going to have to do, because I've got to go to work in 10 minutes, or start work at 10 minutes, so I'm going to read my notes so that it's clear, concise, and I don't digress. So key proposals of the new settlement scheme is earning the right fare and what kind of debt might impact immigrants. So in SHABANA Mahmood's statement to Parliament, she included that applicants must have no debt in the country, which left me wondering what kind of debt was she referring to. But let me go through the possible ambiguities. There's 4 conditions. 1, must have a clean criminal record. 2, they must demonstrate English to A level. They must have a sustained national insurance. They must have sustained national insurance contributions, meaning national insurance contributions have been paid over a long enough time to qualify them for certain benefits, and no debt in this country. And I'll confirm how I've interpreted that later on. So Home Secretary SHABANA Mahmood wants to make settlement in the UK harder by making migrants earn their indefinite leave to remain, which is permanent residency, another word for permanent residency. She's increasing the base residency requirement from 5 to 10 years, and even after they get settlement, many will not have recourse to public funds. So if they're made redundant or suffer a prolonged illness, for example, they may not be eligible to go to DWP for help, depending on their circumstances, of course. She's proposing a fast-track route for high earners, for those who are on, say, 125,000 a year. They could get their settlement within 3 years, and someone on, say, 50,000 a year, they could get their settlement within 5 years. And for somebody like me, who they would consider a low earner because I earn less than 30,000 a year, I would have to wait 15 years, plus pay any penalties. So if you've claimed any benefits for less than a year, you're going to they could add another 5 years. And if you've claimed benefits for more than a year, they can add 10 years to what you've already done. And so Mahmood has submitted a proposal for no recourse to public funds, even if ILR applicants are successful, unless they apply to become British citizens. I would have thought that by virtue of paying all immigration and visa fees for the requisite year, they'd earned the right to live in the UK, but many may not think so. So unless the government is sceptical about the source of the money used to pay visa immigration fees, maybe that's what they're investigating. That was just my thought, because I'm thinking to myself, they pay nearly 100,000, for a family of 3, say, for over the period that they're applying for. So haven't they earned their right? That's what I was trying to explain. Anyway, I'll go into the details. I mustn't digress. The government can make it sound like applicants are sitting around not contributing while waiting for their ILR, when in fact the UK government makes several £billion per year from immigration-related fees, visa, health surcharge, and employer levies. A reasonable current estimate based on Migration Observatory, which is a credible source, puts it at 4.1 to 4.2 billion a year that they make off of immigration. The government makes off of immigration. So once again, I ask you, do you think they've earned their right to be here? There was also a net profit on some visa categories. For example, the Home Office reportedly made 329 million net from skilled worker visas in 2023 to 2024. The 2023 to 24 increase in the immigration health surcharge of to 1,035 is quite significant and is part of boosting this revenue. And for those of you who do not know what immigration health surcharge is, it's so that they can go and use the NHS. They can't use it for free. They pay this IHS surcharge of £1,035. And I don't know if that's a year. I don't know how that works. And that's per person. So let me give you a scenario and you can determine whether a migrant family of 3, as I will describe, who has consistently paid fees on time and is of good character, has earned the right to live in the UK. So there's a family of 3, 2 adults, 1 child. They're on a skilled worker type visa or on a similar long-term visa. The whole time until settlement, they don't switch to different types of visas. They apply for indefinite leave to remain. When eligible at the end of the relevant period, they pay immigration health surcharge every year for all 3. Using the current of a recent Home Office fees and assuming a modest fee inflation, let's say a skilled worker visa application fee is about $769 and $1,751 depending on the duration. Immigration health surcharge is $1,035 per year. For most adults, for a child it's $776 per year for many visa holders. Indefinite leave to remain application is £3,029 per person, and that was of May 2025. If we're looking at a visa application, immigration health surcharge and the settlement cost for a 10-year family route visa to settlement, the fee is $1,048 for an in-country application per person for certain durations, which does not include costs like English test, biometric fees, legal advice, translations, life in the UK test, legal advisor fees, translation, documents, travel, priority processing, that kind of stuff. Whew. But that adds a lot more money to the fees I've already said. So I'm going to give you an estimate of a visa application fee for 10-year route for a family of 3 where the hypothetical family gets a visa that needs renewing or extending after 5 years, or 2 by 5-year visas. Or they opt to switch to a visa that gives them a 10-year path, then apply for indefinite leave to remain. Let me see. So we've got 2 adults, and that's 1,035. These are just estimates. 1,035 each over 10 years, which amounts to 20,700. So the child, 776 for 10 years. That amounts to 760. For the international health surcharge, that works out to 28,460 over 10 years. And the 3,029 for the indefinite leave to remain application for a family of 3 is 9,087. So over a total of 10 years, 20,700 plus 7,760 plus 28,460 plus 9,087 works out to 66 and 7. That's how I worked it out anyway. Could be wrong. Some when I was working it out in another way, it gave me 44,000. But sometimes I'm not good at maths. Maths not my strong point. Oh my God, I've nearly finished. Oh yeah, talking about A-level. That isn't school A-level. That is a Pacific A-level that, I haven't got enough time. I'm going to have to do this in a part 2 because I don't want to rush it. So this is part 1, and I'm sorry about the debt, but debt doesn't mean private debt. I don't want to say that I was going to tell you something that I didn't tell you. So when SHABANA Mahmood is talking about debt, she's not talking about your council tax debt, even though it might implicate you later on, or that kind of debt. Private, credit card bills and that kind of thing. Anyway, I'm going to have to stop it here and continue a part 2.